What's up, guys? You're watching the Shieldbearer Faith. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to do my opinion as I see it on the conversation of Civil War II. I watched Viking Preparedness' video on it the other day, and he had just some really good points, and he mentioned, I think it was Asymmetrical Preparedness as a channel that did a really good video as well. And in general, I really was conflicted about even talking about this, partly given my occupation, but also partly just because, man, I do not wish for that, okay? But we're going to talk about it because I think that some things need to be said. In my job, I see a lot of types of people in a lot of variations of suffering. If you're a combat vet, you would have seen a type of suffering that most of us here would not have. And the same goes in comparison with my job. For example, I have seen children die. I have seen children dying. I have seen and smelled what death smells like. Decomp has a specific odor. I've smelled that in different levels of bad. So I've been there a couple days after someone died. I've been there after they've been dead a month. I've seen the way someone's eyes look when there is no life left in them. I have seen insects eating their body. I have seen a few more things than the average Joe couch potato has. And I haven't seen all of it, okay? So I ain't trying to say that I've seen just these, out of this world things, but I've seen a few things, okay? And in that experience, I can tell you right now that a lot of people that would hope and wish for a Civil War II probably have never seen death. They have probably never smelled it. They have probably never witnessed it. It's not pleasant. It does something to you. It changes you. PTSD is a big thing because we live in a fallen world where death and suffering exists. And sometimes that suffering is up here, right? That's the stuff you can't escape. And I don't want that for y'all. I don't want more of it for me. I don't want more of it for anyone. I don't want my kids or my wife to walk out the front door and see death, right? Because it's not pretty. It is not Call of Duty. It doesn't smell good. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't feel good. People's responses to death are not good. They become irrational, emotional, fatigued, stressed. They do crazy things because of death and suffering. And that's not the only way that could go. Death is part of warfare. It's part of life, right? But the level of death and suffering that a second Civil War would bring, we have never seen before. We, you and me, in this country now have never seen something that bad. And I pray that we never do, because no one's ready for that. And I'll be honest, anybody that would comment on here that says they are ready, you have no idea what you're saying. There's just no way to explain it, guys. I don't want to see my daughter or my son laying dead on the sidewalk. And that's possible when you start talking about that level of bad, right? Also, besides tearing the country apart and mass death everywhere, do you think that other countries would benefit from that conflict internally in the U.S.? Do you think that we go to other countries under the radar and manipulate things when they're having a civil war? Come on, yeah, of course we do. Do you think people would do that here? Do you think that's being done now? Of course. Of course it is. It makes sense. We are the top dog and have been for a while, and according to a lot of countries, for too long. There's plenty of people on this planet that would love to see us eat each other alive. You know what I mean? Don't sprint toward the cliff. You don't want to go so headstrong to catastrophe that you don't see the warning signs on the way. Should you be ready to protect your family and your life? Absolutely. I've been talking about that on here, okay? If you've watched any of my other videos, you kind of have a feel for where my mind is on preparedness, self-defense, family defense, all of that. You know where I stand on the gun rights conversation. I've said my piece on that. But this is different. Nobody is ready for this. And you don't want to be ready for this. I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see my kids go and graduate high school. I want to see them make something of their lives. I want to see them serve God wholeheartedly. And I want to grow old and see my grandkids. And I'll be honest, if we have a second civil war, I don't think that's happening. So, of the options, would I rather my kids grow up in a confused, agitated, but otherwise peaceful country, generally, allow me that? Or would I rather them grow up in whatever comes with war, rape, pillage, plunder, death, and everything that comes with that? General evil comes along with that, guys. I can tell you it's obvious which choice I would rather have, because I've seen and smelled death a few times now, and I don't want that for my kids. So, think heavily on this topic. This video will likely not be popular, but it's the way my mind works. This is where I'm at. Don't wish for conflict. I'll see you later.